Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly. We're back with another Steelhead Alley Outfitters fishing report with Patrick Robinson. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing well, Marvin. I'm just sitting here trying to stay warm behind my Norvise, getting some flies knocked out.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. I mean, it seems kind of universally kind of across our footprint. Everyone, all the fishing reports this time are probably best to stay home and tie flies.
Yeah, we've seen the coldest temps so far this year in the last few days. I think last night we were down to 5 or 6 degrees. And I think come the weekend, they're actually calling for negative temperatures. So we could be, I think, down to like -5 up here, at least for one day. And then we're supposed to pull back out of it. But anyway, you slice that, that's cold.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we were talking before we started recording that, you know, surprisingly, you're not frozen over, but you're pretty slushy. So I think people are just going to have to bide their time, right?
Yeah, you know, I actually drove across the Grand today and was surprised to see that she's flowing pretty free. But there's a lot of, I mean, the whole main channel was flowing with ice and slush. So this time of year, you know, there's obviously fish there. So I don't want to say that you can't get out there and get them, but what you have to do is you can't get drifts to penetrate that slush most of the time. So you have to try and hope that there's fish laying on the edges that you can get to, or something that I have done in the depth of winter is if you can find a place where you know that fish are holding and it's a slower hole, deeper hole that has actually froze up, at least with heavy shelf ice. Oftentimes those fish will choose cover under ice versus depth in the hole. And so oftentimes what you can do is bust out some of that shelf ice. It was funny because I came up on a hole one day with a client, and the day before there had been about 100 fish in that hole. And we came up the next morning and I looked out in the hole, and, you know, in the winter, the water clears quite a bit. And I looked out there and you couldn't see a fish anywhere. And I had this confused look on my face. I don't know that he noticed it or not, but I definitely had a confused look on my face when all of a sudden the light bulb came on and I was like, they're under the ice. I looked at the guy and I said, watch this. And I just stomped my foot on the ice one time and 100 fish came like a fragment grenade out from underneath all that ice. So if you could find a place like that, bust that ice up, get it out of the hole and let those fish settle back in. And 10 minutes later, you should be able to start busting fish.
Yeah, there you go. And of course, I imagine as cold as it is, you kind of have to really bump them on the nose, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This time of year, definitely, they're not gonna spend unnecessary energy chasing down an offering. So make sure your drifts are true.
Absolutely. And kind of coming back to the fly tying, which is appropriate since our friends at Norvise are sponsoring the fishing report. What are you spinning up tonight?
I'm actually spinning up a couple of woodsmen. It's a variation that Mike Schultz at Schultz Outfitters has kind of worked up over the years. That's a spinoff of the circus peanut that one of the other Michigan guides is well known for, and it's a pretty popular pattern up here in the upper Midwest. But the woodsman is an adaptation of the circus peanut. And its name kind of hints toward what it was developed for. It's so that you can basically fish the fly in the wood and keep it from, you know, hooking up on the logs and everything else. So kind of has a head that protects the hook points. It rides hook up as opposed to hook down, and a lot of rubber legs and schlopping, and just a buggy looking Helgramite bait fish kind of morphed together kind of fly that just begs to be eaten.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting too, because, you know, down here in the Southeast, I always have to remember, you know, how woody the water is in the upper Midwest.
Yeah, especially when you get up into some of those Michigan streams. Up there, they got wood everywhere. Here, it just depends really on what you're fishing and where you're fishing. We've got a couple of streams here that we fish for warm water that's the same way. I mean, literally, it's one log pile after another, after another, after another. So if you can get flies that will hop up and over a log without getting hooked, it's going to make your day a heck of a lot more enjoyable because I've been on both ends of that stick. And especially when you're with clients, you want to keep their head in the game. And so that's a great way to do it is give them a fly that's going to ride easy over all that timber.
Yeah, particularly when it takes a little bit longer to tie one of those than to tie Pat's rubber legs.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well,
that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And, we want to thank our friends at Norvise for sponsoring the fishing report. And folks, you owe it to yourself to check them out at www.nor-vice.com. And I would really encourage you to go take a look at their Facebook page because they're live tying every Sunday night. And we're on the cusp of March Madness with them too. And so all those special events, best place to check them out is on their Facebook page. And, getting back to the fishing, Patrick, you were saying that, not only can you steelhead fish when the slush disappears, but we're getting into a really sweet spot for pike fishing too.
Yeah, we're February is known to be a pre-spawn month for pike. That's when you get the chance at the big pre-spawn hens, and so the days are limited. Depending on the winter that you're having, and obviously as of right now, we're definitely having a winter. So the days are definitely limited, but if we get a warm up that'll burn off that slush and allow some open water to be floated, it's game on. So if that's something that you're down for trying, we've got guides that are willing to give it a shot with you. And we still have a sale going on for another week and a half. So a week and a half left in the what we call our year-end blowout sale. So we're excuse me. No, I'm wrong on that. We got a week and a half before the sale changes. So it's still $100 off any trip right now, any full day trip. And then February 15th, it drops to $50 off. And then beginning of March, prices return to normal.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a great option, particularly if you live in the area and you can be flexible, right?
Yeah, for sure. You can call us at a moment's notice if you look at the forecast and it's supposed to, be in the upper 30s for a couple of days. And you got the day open after that, man. Give us a holler and we'll give you the honest scoop on what the conditions are like, and we can get you out there. We certainly will.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us. You can send them to us on our Instagram or our Facebook page. If we read your question, I'll send you some Articulate Fly swag, and you'll get into a drawing for something cool from the guys at SAO and Norvise at the end of the season. And before I let you get back to your Norvise and type some more woodsmen, why don't you let folks know where they can find you on the internet and book you and all that kind of good stuff, Patrick?
They can find us anytime online at www.steelheadallyoutfitters.com. They can reach me via email at team, that's T as in Tom, E as in Edward, AM, at steelheadallyoutfitters.com. Or they can reach us by phone at 888-453-5899.
Well, that's awesome. And, folks, while you're waiting for the weather to turn, you owe it to yourself to tie a few dozen flies because the preparation now is going to make the spring fishing all the better. So get after it and spin up a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Patrick.
We'll see you, Marvin.